race fans, and welcome back to another night of high-flying action here with the Most Wanted Racing Association, brought to you this evening by the Methanol Mafia. And currently out on the track, hot laps for the next 6 minutes or so. And let's go over a little bit of the action from last week from Lanier Speedway, where Joey Frakes, I was mistaken at the time, claiming it was his second win of the season. It was actually his first win of the season, but it did allow him to take the points lead going into tonight's action. He currently leads by a single point going into the action here at the house that Earl built, Eldora Speedway. This big half mile has been the site of quite a few exciting contests in the history of sprint car racing, late model racing, just dirt track racing in general. As some of you know, Eldora is not quite the track that it once was, as at one time this track had a significant amount more banking, but still the wide, high bank surface will provide most likely some 2, 3, and 4 wide action this evening. And let's go ahead and get some information up here on the board. Current fastest lap in hot laps turned by Joey Frakes. And that was a 14.702 going down the list from him. 14.715 from Doug Lockwood. Craig Loudermilch just behind him with 14.794. So those top three all in the 14.7s. From there going into the 14.8s with Austin Stern and Brian Kosak at 14.834. So still a very fast, very hammer down track here early in hot laps. But with 5 minutes remaining, we expect to see the infamous slick line to begin to appear as the track will rubber slick off through the night. And as always, I want to thank all of you for joining us this evening, as well as our title sponsor for the 305 Champions Tour, that is Odd Brothers Armory Custom Firearms from up in Pennsylvania. Definitely a great source if you're looking for any upgrades or maintenance or repair on any of your major model handguns, shotguns, rifles. Also want to thank Jessup Logistics out of the Indianapolis area for coming on board this season. If you're needing basically any of your trucking needs, make sure to give them a shout. Detweiler Designs, who is the presenting sponsor for the Most Wanted Racing Association this season. And of course, bringing you this broadcast this evening, that is Methanol Mafia Productions. Remaining here, I see Craig Loudermilch is actually out on the track, and let's go ahead and go on board with him, get an idea of what it looks like going around this big half mile. Out on the track, it doesn't necessarily seem like there's a whole lot of banking to the track until you're down in the infield, actually pulling out onto the track, and then you see how big and intimidating these corners actually are. And this time down into turn number 3, 112 miles an hour out of this little 305. So cooking along pretty good with 3 minutes remaining in hot laps. And while we have a few minutes here, let me see who's available for a quick interview. And somebody we haven't heard a lot of so far this year, Austin Stern. Austin, you got your ears on?
Yeah, I got you, bub.
All right. So going into the house that Earl built, Eldora Speedway, everybody, this is kind of one of those crown jewel races, a lot like Knoxville Raceway. Everybody wants to win here. Does that go into how you prepare for a night like tonight with a series like this?
Well, Eldora is a pretty well-known racetrack. It's probably, besides Lanier and Limelight, I would say, not Cedar Lake, Eldora is probably one of my favorite tracks now. It's just a lot of speed, big banking, you can slide 2, 3 cars. It's a lot of fun, so it's about making the right decision at the right time.
Gotcha. Well, we're getting close to the end of hot laps, so I will turn you back over to Ed after that. I don't want to hold you up too long. Good luck this evening, sir, and we'll see if we can go 5 weeks with new winners tonight.
Yeah, I hope so. Hope we'll be talking to you at the end of this race here.
All right. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
That was Austin Stern, driver of the number 75, who is currently sitting 4th quick in hot laps. have to go. I'm just going to kick back and let you guys enjoy the sights and sounds of Eldora Speedway here from the grandstands. And that's going to bring us around to tonight's qualifying. As these drivers get ready to jump out on the track, looks like a couple of the early cars to jump out there. One of them is Austin Stern. Let's ride along with him here for just a moment. Like you said, we take a look off the left front suspension of that car. He's going to be on the clock this time down into turn number 1. Work right above the slick, and as you can see, trying to keep that car as straight as possible as he works down the backstretch into turn number 3. Very, very clean lap here on his first lap. And he's going to jump to the top of the board with a 14.997. Immediately following that, Joseph Parrott going to jump to the top with a 14.991. So very, very tight qualifying times. Second lap, not quite as fast for Austin Stern. Now Joey Frake's going to jump to the top of the board with a 14.945 on his second lap. And Chris Hockley going to bump both Joseph Parrott and Austin Stern a little bit down the list with a 14.976 as he is concluding his second lap now. Brian Kosak currently sitting 5th. Brian having some tough luck this season, always kind of just not in the right position at the right time to capitalize. Possibly his luck could change this evening. Currently 21 cars scheduled to do battle this evening. We'll see how many of them will actually turn into qualifying time. Looks like Randy Webb just turned in his second lap. And right now, Cody DeLong is going to jump up into that 5th qualifying position. Now Tony Gamble going to knock Cody DeLong down a rung. And Doug Lockwood going to jump up into 6th right behind Tony Gamble. I just want to make note of this real quick. 14.945 being the quick time, and 13th quick is a 15.085, so just over a tenth of a second separating our top 13 cars here in qualifying time trials. And with a little bit less than 30 seconds to go, a couple drivers out on the track right now. One of those is Josh Piquel. As you see him making his way around the track now. Piquel sporting a new paint scheme this week. Very nice looking car from him. Piquel's first lap going to be a 15.126. With that, we're going to move around to heat race number 1. And starting on the pole, of heat race number 1 is going to be the driver of the number 53 Stream 517 car. That is Chris Myler. Outside of him, Earl Hoon Jr. in the number 10. Row number 2 on the inside will be Zach Lowe in the number 4, and outside of him, the number 51 of Cody DeLong. Row number 3 will be Austin Stern in the 75. We had a word with him just a little bit ago, and outside of him, current points leader Joey Frakes in the number 12. And rounding out the field will be the scored as the number 14. We know it to be the number 13 of Joshua Piquel. As some of you are sure to be hearing right now, we're hearing the PA system here at Eldora Speedway. A little bit of chatter that iRacing recently added to the game. Well, I say recently, it was probably a few months back. Most Wanted Racing Association official flagman Jake Greenwood going to be giving instructions to these drivers. What do you expect to see out of them here in heat number 1? Top 2 drivers will be going to tonight's Trophy Dash. Top 4 guaranteed a spot in the A main, but since we have short of 24 cars this evening, it will be the full field making the A main, so guys will just be vying for position behind those top 2 spots, looking for a better starting position in tonight's feature. And the iRacing.com pace truck is going to duck off in turn 4, and Chris Myler jumps on that loud pedal, kicking things off this evening. And he's going to get a decent jump down into turn 1. He elects to run the cushion. And that's going to allow Zach Lowe to fly up there into second place. Working a bit of a slider line there through 3 and 4. That's going to open the door for Cody DeLong, who's trying to get a nose in under him. This time into turn 1, Cody DeLong thought about throwing the slider. Now a little contact there between Austin Stern and Cody DeLong. Both drivers able to get away clean, but Austin Stern not able to make the early moves he was really looking for as he once again tries to look to the outside of Cody DeLong, and the door gets slammed in his face. And look at Josh Piquel trying to work his way up through the field all the way up to 5th from the 7th starting spot. As we look back out front as Chris Myler has flat out put the hammer down and checked out on Zach Lowe and Cody DeLong. Let's take a look back now at that current battle for that second and final transfer spot to the dash. As Zach Lowe has it, Cody DeLong wants it. Whoa, contact between those two drivers. Zach Lowe spinning, able to recover, but that is going to likely bring out the caution. It looks like green flag currently staying out. 3 laps remaining for Chris Myler, so Zach Lowe did go ahead and tow to the pit area, allowing us to continue heat race number 1. And Austin Stern has now moved up into that second and final dash transfer spot, so little turn of good luck there for Austin Stern. And we look now at the battle between Joey Frakes and Earl Hoon Jr. for 3rd, turning into a 4-car battle rather rapidly. White flag out for Chris Myler. And I don't think anybody's going to be able to catch him here as he works through turns 3 and 4. Give heat race number 1 to Christopher Myler and the Stream 517, number 53. Austin Stern going to bring home 2nd in the number 75. And Joey Frakes bringing home 3rd. And with that, we'll be rolling over to heat race number 2. 8 laps the distance, 7 cars starting. And starting on the pole of heat race number 2 will be the number 33 of Greg Detweiler. Outside of him, Hunter Crum in the number 28. Row number 2. Starting from 3rd, Josh Whiteman in the number 8, and outside of him, Brian Kosak in the number 24. Row number 3 on the inside, Tony Gamble being scored as the number 22. We actually know him to normally have the 25 on his car. Or sorry, 24 on his car. but he is running the 22 this evening. And outside of him, Chris Hockley being scored as the 18, 14 on the wing. And rounding out the field, driving the number 711, that is Craig Loudermilch. So a bit of a stacked heat race here in heat race number 2. And we'll have to see what kind of action we get out of this field, as there are 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers from Most Wanted Motorsports in this heat race. And definitely a lot of threats all the way through the field. Final instructions complete from Jake Greenwood. We'll be looking for the green flag out of turn number 4. And the iRacing.com pace truck is into the infield. That is the signal for Greg Detweiler. He is on the loud pedal out of turn number 4. Gets a great jump over Hunter Crum, but look at the move to the inside from Josh Whiteman, and he's going to slam the door with the slider on Hunter Crum and take over that second and final dash transfer spot. But look at the move already from Tony Gamble up into third, battling for third now with Hunter Crum. And I do believe that Brian Kosak got a little piece of the wall down the straightaway, as he has fallen way behind this field. Let's take a look back now at the battle between third and fourth place as Hunter Crum tries to hold off Tony Gamble. Hunter Crum coming back from a fairly long hiatus from the iRacing service. But good to see him back with us. It's still not quite ready to yield that third spot, but Tony Gamble has the run this time into turn number 1 and 2. Give Tony Gamble third. Now Craig Loudermilch going to stick his nose underneath. Loudermilch not able to get it done just yet as Tony Gamble continues to hold that third spot, but a little bit of a slider now from Craig Loudermilch, not able to make it work through 1 and 2. Going into turn 3, once again, Loudermilch to the bottom. He's going to slide up across the nose of Tony Gamble. Gamble with the crossover now to the bottom of the track. Gamble retains third place once more. 3 laps remaining this time by. Craig Detweiler beginning to feel the pressure of Josh Whiteman now as they work through 3 and 4. Still retains the lead at this point. Tip of the green that time by. 2 laps remaining for Greg Detweiler. And we'll take a look back now as Craig Loudermilch has finally cleared Tony Gamble and sets his sights on a possible dash transfer spot as he tries to run down Josh Whiteman in the number 8. White flag out for Greg Detweiler. Josh Whiteman trying to hold on to that second place. As long as he runs clean through 3 and 4, he should have a dash transfer spot here this evening. And the checkered flag is out for Greg Detweiler, picking up heat race number 2. Josh Whiteman finishes second, Craig Loudermilch third, Tony Gamble fourth. Now we take a look toward heat number 3, and starting on the pole, always a threat no matter where he is in the field, the number 56 of Randy Shreves. Outside of him, E.J. Harmon sporting the number 3 this evening. Row number 2 on the inside will be Bradley Boyer in the number 5, and outside of him, Kendrick Tiller, currently sitting second in the points, only 1 point behind Joey Frakes in that number 37. Row number 3 on the inside, the 08 of Doug Lockwood. He's been absent here lately, but we're happy to have him back with the Most Wanted Racing Association. And outside of him, driving the number 21, that is Joseph Parrott. Final row on the inside, Randy Webb driving the number 15. Randy Shreves coming off a very strong second place last week at Lanier Speedway. I'm sure he's looking for the victory tonight. And Shreves is on the loud pedal out of turn number 4. Green flag down the straightaway. Shreves with a decent jump this time. Not as good as he would have liked, I would imagine, as E.J. Harmon drives all the way up into the tacky up above the cushion, but gets a decent run down the backstretch. And look at the challenge already around the inside from Brad Boyer. Now Kendrick Tiller using the momentum around the outside to slingshot. But once again, great charge from Brad Boyer. 3 wide off in turn number 2. Little contact there. And I do believe Kendrick Tiller got the worst of that as he slides all the way back into 7th place. But Doug Lockwood takes advantage as he's now challenging for 2nd. Now contact between Harmon and Lockwood. Harmon able to recover the car, but I'm sure he's not real happy with Doug after that move. Brad Boyer currently sitting in that 2nd and final transfer spot. 5 laps remaining this time by. Lockwood now looking to the inside on Brad Boyer, but look at Joseph Parrott working the bottom off of turn 2. Getting a great run on Lockwood each time, just not able to really capitalize just yet, but don't count him out, as he is staying right on the tail tank of that 08. Now Lockwood going to work through the slick just a little bit. Not able to gain any real advantage over Boyer, but is staying with him. Now Boyer right on the tail tank of Randy Shreves. We're about to have a battle for the lead. Boyer with the slider. Shreves with a crossover. Beautiful move. Now Boyer into the fence, and he's upside down the backstretch. So that is going to end the heat race there for Brad Boyer, although he did land on his wheels. So he will have an opportunity to go through the pits and retain his position on the lead lap. But with only 3 laps remaining, he'll have his work cut out for him as he tries to work back into a dash transfer. Looks like Brad Boyer is rejoining the tail of the field with that car repaired. As we see the surface beginning to dry out here in heat race number 3. Still a fairly narrow track, not a whole lot of action. But as we go into tonight's dash and pre-feature warm-up, we'll likely see this track open up quite a bit. Try to give these drivers a chance to get some passing done in the feature. And lights are out on the speedway. We'll be going green out of turn number 4. Randy Shreves hoping to hold on for these last 3 laps. Shreves on the throttle out of turn number 4. Lockwood with decent reaction there. He's going to stay within striking distance. And Kendrick Tiller has worked his way back up into 3rd. As we saw those cars 3 wide down through 1 and 2. Tiller now with a run around the outside. Lockwood working the cushion as well. And here's white flag. Lockwood going to work the inside through 1 and 2. He's going to try to move Shreves up the track and set up his pass here. Lockwood on the bottom throws the slider on Shreves. Shreves going to diamond off the corner. Not going to be enough. Lockwood going to pick up the victory here in heat race number 3. Shreves going to bring home 2nd, getting his transfer into tonight's trophy dash. And Kendrick Tiller going to bring home 3rd there in heat race number 3. And with that, we get ready for our dash as the drivers will be undergoing their redraw. And while we have a moment here, let's try to get a word with Kendrick Tiller. Kendrick, you brought home 3rd there in heat race number 3. Just ran out of time there at the end, but a very, very brilliant recovery. Getting kind of tangled up early on. Managed to keep the car going and worked your way back up into a 3rd place. You know, walk me through a run like that in a heat race.
Yeah, I mean, I Just felt like I got a little unfortunate there in the heat race. Kind of got pinched up in the wall, had to back out. Caution there at the end definitely helped me out, but I was just trying to hit my line and make my way back to the front.
Well, you definitely were threatening there from third place. I think any mistake from the 56 or the 08, and we would have been seeing you here in tonight's dash, but you should inherit a pretty decent starting position. If my calculations are right, you should be starting somewhere around 10th or so. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to, after that start, I'm just happy to be straight into the feature, honestly. So,
all right, well, congratulations on your third place there in the heat race, and we'll see you here shortly during the warm-up.
sounds good.
That was Kendrick Tiller, driver of the number 37. As we get ready now for cars to roll out onto the track, we'll get your starting lineup for the 6-lap dash. We see here, looks like Josh Whiteman and Chris Myler are going to be sitting on that first row. Second row going to be Doug Lockwood and Greg Detweiler. Third row on the inside, Randy Shreves. Outside of him, Austin Stern in the 75. This time by being told, nose to tail side by side, green off of turn 4. Ranks begin to close here as we enter turn 3, so we'll be looking for the green flag this time. Whiteman going to pick up the pace just a little bit through turn 3, and he's going to jump on that loud pedal now. Gets a great jump over Chris Myler. Myler able to get the car running pretty quickly, and he's already challenging now for that lead. But look at Lockwood work the bottom of the track through 1 and 2. 3 wide through turn 3. Lockwood, little contact there with his teammate Chris Myler. Both drivers able to get away clean, though. Now a little contact between Greg Detweiler and I believe that was Austin Stern, who's trying to find his way up through the track. Josh Whiteman continues to lead here. Doug Lockwood trying to set himself up with a better starting spot, but not wanting to crash out his teammate Chris Myler. Greg Detweiler currently sitting back there in 4th. Now Lockwood with the slider. Myler with a beautiful crossover there out of turn number 4. He's going to answer with a slider of his own into turn number 1. Lockwood going to work through the slick there. Loses a little bit of ground on Myler, but sets himself up once again for the slider line through 3 and 4. Whiteman continuing to lead. I do apologize as I've lost track of the laps trying to call this race. Chris Myler currently sitting 2nd. Josh Whiteman looking to pick up the dash victory here tonight. I do believe this will be white flag now for Josh Whiteman. Chris Myler right on his tail tank now, the backstretch. Whiteman going to throw a little bit of a slide job, trying to cover off the possible slider there in 3 and 4. And I was mistaken. This must be a white flag lap. As we hear some significant contact back through the field. Looks like Greg Detweiler may have gotten the worst of that one. A checkered flag going to come out, so Josh Whiteman picking up the victory. Chris Myler 2nd, Doug Lockwood 3rd. I did not see further back through the field, so we'll have to wait for the feature lineup to see where these guys are going to line up. Chris Myler currently the fastest car on the track during that dash with a 15.139. But right on his backside is Doug Lockwood with a 15.145, so only 6 thousandths off Chris Myler's time. while we have a moment here, let me see if Josh Whiteman is listening in after picking up that dash victory. Josh, you got yours on?
Sure do.
Well, that was an impressive run in that dash. You just kind of set sail and tried to keep everybody behind you, and you were successful in that. How does that work toward your confidence in tonight's feature?
I feel pretty good. This is the track I race the most on, and I feel like I have a pretty good setup here. I did see afterwards I was only fifth fastest out of those guys, though, so I still have a little work to do for the feature, but it definitely kind of helps me get a little more confidence in my driving for sure.
Well, going into tonight's feature, you've definitely got the hot seat, so I'll let you get back to your practice here for this feature event, and good luck to you this evening.
Thanks a lot, Darren. Appreciate it.
That was Josh Whiteman, driver of the number 8, who just picked up the dash victory here at the Big E. As we get a look at Randy Shreves back practicing that low line there through 3 and 4, and the high line through 1 and 2. Drivers given at least a couple minutes here, usually closer to 5 minutes to kind of work in the track, try to widen things out, create better racing lines. And we take a look forward at Chris Myler, who will be starting on the outside of the front row. Still the fastest car during warm-ups at that 15.139. Now, we don't expect anybody to necessarily be faster than that, as during the dash, those guys ran a very low fuel load, only the necessary fuel to get that 6-lap race done. But currently, the fastest car that was not part of the dash is the 22 of Tony Gamble with a 15.232, so still a very quick lap time. We're not sure what kind of fuel load he has in that car, but likely it is a near full fuel load for the race we're about to run. Excuse me here as my throat's getting a little scratchy. As we see a lot of guys starting to test out that slider line here in the closing minutes of the practice. Kendrick Tiller currently 10th quick in the pre-feature warm-up. A 15.310. And all the way back to 19th. Zach Lowe with a 15.429, so only 3/10 separating our top 19 drivers in this warm-up. And a little look at E.J. Harmon and Doug Lockwood working a little side-by-side action, flipping it back and forth through the corners. Wide-angle view for the fans watching at home. As you can see, the Big E has its name for a good reason, as this is a very large track, and checkered flag is going to fly on the pre-feature warm-up, so Jake Greenwood content with what he's seeing out of the track surface. And the first 3 rows will be lined up according to the dash, so we'll skip right over to row number 4. Starting on the inside is going to be the number 12 of Joey Frakes. Outside of him, the 7-11 of Craig Loudermilch. And row number 5 on the inside, Kendrick Tiller. Outside of him, Josh Pickell. Row number 6 on the inside, the 22 of Tony Gamble and the 21 of Joseph Parrott. Row number 7 on the inside, Earl Hoon Jr. in that number 10 and the 28 of Hunter Crum. Row number 8 on the inside will be Randy Webb, and outside of him, Cody DeLong in the 51. Long, always a strong competitor. We look to see him go forward rather rapidly here in this feature. Row number 9 on the inside will be Chris Hockley driving the 14, scored as the 18. Outside of him will be DJ Harmon, number 3, with the 0 on the wing. Row number 10 on the inside will be the number 4, Zach Lowe. Outside of him, Brian Kosak in the 24. So I apologize for the track fireworks there that I imagine are quite loud on your screen currently. And rounding out the field, starting 21st, will be the number 5 of Brad Boyer. And as you see on your screen, 31 laps, 30 of which will be under green flag conditions. One lap to allow these drivers to get into their proper running order. As you see, Josh Whiteman on the inside. Outside of him, Chris Myler, second row. On the inside is the 08 of Doug Lockwood. Outside of him, Randy Shreves in the 56. Then Austin Stern and Greg Detweiler are going to make up that third row. Looks like Brad Boyer was unable to make the call for the feature, so if he does make it back in, he will have to start from the pits and wait for a caution before he can enter the track surface. And this time out of turn number 4, looking for that green flag, Josh Whiteman and Chris Myler ready to kick things off. Let's get dirty for 30 here with the Most Wanted Racing Association out of turn number 4. Great start for our front row as Chris Myler manages to stay side by side with Josh Whiteman. Whiteman going to throw the slider up the track, crosses up Myler just a little bit down the backstretch, but look at the work to the inside from Doug Lockwood, who's going to slide all the way up to the middle. Almost makes contact with Whiteman there into turn number 1. And there we see Myler getting a little crossed up, trying to work the bottom side of the track. He's going to slide all the way back into third. Now being challenged around the outside by Austin Stern, who's going to take over the third position. Now Randy Shreves looking to continue the train around the outside. Josh Whiteman stretching out his lead, but caution flag going to fly. Brian Kosak may have been involved in that crash. I do see his name at the back part of the list, but not completely sure if he was involved in that crash or not. Get a look back through our field now. Chris Myler currently sitting in that third spot. Right behind him, Austin Stern. Myler, the lucky recipient of his returning to his third position due to the caution flying when it did. Randy Shreves currently sitting in the 5th position. Greg Detweiler still running 6th. And Joey Frakes sitting in 7th right now. Things definitely looking promising for another first-time winner here with the Most Wanted Racing Association, but things are still very early as we get set to go back to green out of turn number 4. And the iRacing.com pace truck ducks off in turn number 4. Whiteman going to jump on the loud pedal. Lockwood trying to drive down the track a little bit, maybe build some speed down the front stretch. Lockwood with a good run around the bottom. Is it going to be enough to get the position for Whiteman? No. Whiteman with a great move off the outside, going to carry that momentum all the way down into turn 3 and begin to stretch his lead over Lockwood. Now Chris Myler trying to work his way back into a position to take second back. he's going to grab a little bit too much of the slick down through 1 and 2. Now the challenge from Austin Stern, going to throw the long slider across the track. Lockwood going to cross him up and take second back. And Lockwood going to slam the door down into turn number 1, try to close off that slider line so Austin Stern can't answer again. And caution flag going to fly once again. And trouble for our points leader, Joey Frakes, missing the nose wing. So that crash in the middle of the field and not what he was looking for. Looks like Cody DeLong going to take the trip down through the work area. So DeLong possibly involved in that crash as well. And EJ Harmon and Zach Lowe also making a trip into the work area. So we'll see if those guys are able to get back out here for the conclusion of the feature. And from the timing screen, all those cars were able to come back out. So 25 laps remaining. As you can see, kind of a patchy area of slick beginning to form down the backstretch, and the cushion already piling up against the wall. So these drivers that are working the top side of the track will have to contend with that most likely by the end of the race this evening. Caution lights are going to go out on the iRacing.com pace truck. We'll be going green out of turn number 4. And the pace truck is going to duck on off out of turn 4. Whiteman once again on the loud pedal down the front stretch. Great jump over Doug Lockwood. And Austin Stern already looking to challenge Lockwood. Look at that train of cars working the cushion on the top side of this track. Now Lockwood throwing the slider across the track. They're wheel to wheel off the corner. Whiteman going to maintain the lead. And caution flag coming out once again. Looks like Joseph Parrott having to make a trip into the work area. That's going to put him back to the back of the field. As we take a look at the back of the field right now, quite a few drivers we would expect to see up front normally. So definitely a few cars getting twisted up here in the early running. This time by, drivers receiving the 1 to go green out of turn 4. And I'm sure Josh Whiteman right now is just waiting for a long green flag run so he can try to stretch his legs and open up a big lead over Doug Lockwood and Austin Stern. It's just not quite panning out the way he would expect. But he's going to be on the loud pedal out of turn number 4. Green flag down the front stretch. This time, once again, getting a good jump over Doug Lockwood. Lockwood going to follow to the top of the track through 1 and 2. Austin Stern currently running in that third. Little shimmy out of that car. But look at Lockwood work the bottom. Once again, he's going to throw the slider. This time gets the right rear in front of Josh Whiteman. Doug Lockwood to the point. Now Austin Stern going to work the bottom side of the track. He may have a line that's starting to come in as he was able to get to the inside of Josh Whiteman, just not able to really get the car out in front of him. As Austin Stern tries to get that car wound up as Randy Shreves is right on his tail tank. Chris Myler now working the top side of the track. He's back up in that 5th spot. Greg Detweiler's still running 6th. Hunter Crum working his way up through the field, currently sitting 7th. As Lockwood and Whiteman continue to run nose to tail all the way around this track, 20 laps remaining. And yellow flag gonna fly. I believe that was E.J. Harmon. Yes, I can confirm that was E.J. Harmon that got a little crossed up. Looks like he had parked that car in the turn 3 fence. And with having to tow, that is likely going to end his evening. As we look back through the field now, going to look there at the 28 of Hunter Crum, brand new competitor here with the Most Wanted Racing Association. Longtime member of Most Wanted Motorsports, recently returning from a hiatus. Josh McKell rocking that gorgeous number 13 paint scheme. And Brad Boyer beginning to work his way back up through the field. He is back up to 9th. And Brian Kosak, who started all the way in the back, is up to 10th now. Kendrick Tiller currently running 11th. But next time by, we'll be going green once again, hoping for a few more green laps. Lockwood's going to punch it out of turn number 4, drives all the way down the banking, trying to build momentum, and look at the jump that he had. Almost 7/10 into turn number 1. Austin Stern going to throw the slider this time on Josh Whiteman and take over the 2nd spot, but looks like Lockwood may have gotten a little bit of the fence down the backstretch. He did manage to get the car going forward again, but not before losing a lot of ground now to Austin Stern, who is absolutely on a tear, trying to run down Doug Lockwood. As we look back through the field, caution flag going to come out once again. Looks like Earl Hoon going to take a trip into the work area now in the Oakley's number 10. Lots of caution laps being turned here in the early going. And in the real car, a lot of guys would be starting to wonder, do I have enough fuel in this car after running this many laps under caution? To see this time if Doug Lockwood is able to get a big jump like he did on Josh Whiteman, with Austin Stern sitting behind him this time. And Chris Myler able to work his way up into the 4th position now. Randy Shreve's in 5th. But we're back to live racing action as Doug Lockwood's going to punch the throttle out of turn 4. Elects for a little bit different timing, not able to get as big of a jump on Austin Stern as he did on Whiteman. Now Stern going to get into the wall down the backstretch. He does recover the car, but loses a lot of ground to Lockwood. As we see the battle now for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Those cars just absolutely on top of each other. Whiteman Whiteman sitting in the middle looking for a line down the track, trying to find his way back around Austin Stern. Stern using the momentum of the cushion to assert his position of second. Chris Myler now with a decent run, but he's going to make contact with the outer fence and open the door to Randy Shreves. And we take a look back out toward the front as Doug Lockwood has opened up about a 7/10 gap over Austin Stern. But you have to wonder how long is that gap going to hold up, as Austin Stern is a very talented slick track driver. And don't get me wrong, Doug Lockwood is as well. And Lockwood continues to stretch his advantage out to almost 9/10 that time by. Josh Whiteman starting to find his way up on the tail tank of Austin Stern now. Take a look back in the field now as Kendrick Tiller continues his charge toward the front, currently setting a couple positions ahead of the challenger in the points, Joey Frakes. Look at how these guys are getting right up on that fence. Whoa, contact between Loudermilch and Frakes. They are able to straighten out the car. But not what Joey Frakes was looking for. Green flag going to continue to fly. Doug Lockwood was all the way out to 1.3 seconds now over Austin Stern. I apologize, my timing screen was saying it was down to a 10th. As Austin Stern has opened up about 6/10 over Josh Whiteman, but Randy Shreves is right on the tail tank of Josh Whiteman now, looking for another podium finish here. As you can see there, Whiteman beginning to struggle a little bit with the car. Possibly that setup just not holding up deeper into the race. Lockwood now out to a 1.5 seconds over Austin Stern. He is driving an absolute rocket tonight. Now the challenge between Greg Detweiler and Chris Myler. Detweiler with the slider. Myler not able to cross it back over. Move Greg Detweiler up into 5th now. And we'll take a look back through the field once again. There's a little bit more contact there. I did not see who got a little piece of the tail tank of Brian Kosak. That may have been Cody DeLong. And caution flag going to come out once again. Looks like Joseph Barrett making a trip back into the work area. And as quick as that happened, Doug Lockwood's advantage has evaporated with 5 laps remaining. He'll be looking to try to open up that lead once again, but Austin Stern is now looking at exactly what he wanted. A late race shot at Doug Lockwood. Whiteman still running in that 3rd position. Most certainly looking for a chance to reclaim the lead. Randy Shreves 4th, Greg Detweiler 5th, Chris Myler running 6th. And the battle for the points championship gonna open itself up again after this evening, as Kendrick Tiller is currently sitting 6 spots ahead of Joey Frakes. We'll be going green for this remaining 5 laps out of turn number 4. Slow and steady pace from Doug Lockwood. He's going to jump on the loud pedal, middle of 3 and 4. Drives all the way down the track. Gets himself about a 4/10 advantage over Austin Stern down the straightaway. Austin Stern, with 4 laps to go, going to try to run him down, and now Randy Shreves got a little bit crossed up out of turn 4. sorry, Josh Whiteman got a little crossed up out of 4. Shreves was kind of in there also. A lot of cars getting into the fence now into turn number 1. Greg Detweiler was one of them. But look at the action. 3 wide, almost 4 wide down the backstretch. Detweiler once again getting a piece of the fence. And that's going to bring the caution flag back out. We'll be looking at a green-white checkered to conclude tonight's racing. As we take a look back at Greg Detweiler, got into the fence pretty hard down the backstretch. Looks like the car is still square though, so he'll get another chance from the 4th starting spot. These are the moments that can define you as a driver. Doug Lockwood sitting out front right now. Green-white checkered conditions. All he needs is a good jump over Austin Stern, but if he doesn't get it, he's going to be under fire all the way around this track for those 3 laps. Here we go out of turn number 4. Lockwood with a decent jump, but this time Austin Stern kind of saw it coming. They're going to be nose to tail down into turn number 1. Lockwood going to go all the way up top. Austin Stern works it through the middle just a little bit. Greg Detweiler gets a little crossed up on the exit to turn 2. He does get the car going forward now. Lockwood trying to stretch out his lead. White flag out for Doug Lockwood, Austin Stern, and Randy Shreves nose to tail now through 1 and 2. Stern a little crossed up. Shreves in contact with the wall. They both managed to recover down the backstretch. They're side by side off of turn number 4. Lockwood going to pick up the win. Second place going to go to Randy Shreves. Austin Stern finishing 3rd. Chris Myler finishing 4th. Whiteman 5th. Hunter Chrome 6th. So very strong into the race there for Doug Lockwood, able to open up enough of a gap. So we'll back away from the fireworks here at the Eldora Speedway. And here in a few moments, we'll have a word with our top 3. Bringing home 3rd place tonight, driver of the number 75, that is Austin Stern. Austin, it looked like you had a hell of a challenge there on Doug Lockwood with that 3 to go, and then it just evaporated off of turn number 2. Anything you'd like to do different if you were given that opportunity again?
Yeah, drive better. The track was weird. Like in 1 and 2, it was high. It was good. It was really good high. But in 3 and 4, it was a slider line, and I don't think I was going to be able to catch him running high in 3 and 4. I didn't think it was there. But I really suck at restarts. I gotta get a lot better on that. I feel like if I had better restarts, I would have maybe challenged him a little bit. But I was going over so many scenarios and what to do, where to do it, and what lap to do it. And I knew we had a couple cautions there towards the end, which played in my favor. But then again, it didn't. And then I come in that last corner in 3 and 4. I tried to push it a little too hard, or it was in 1 and 2. I tried to push it a little too hard, and I got a little loose, and then Randy got around me in 3 and 4. But that was a really, really fun race. There was just no catching Doug.
Yeah, it seemed like did you just buzz the tires a little bit out of two? Because I saw the car kind of step out sideways on you, and you recovered real quick, just lost a little too much ground.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Like I said, I tried something and it did not work at all. But that's what we keep practicing for, keep racing for, and damn, these damn most wanted guys, I'll tell you.
All right, well, still a third place, another podium here, so always a good night when you can be in that top 3.
Yeah, I gotta get above top there. I'm tired of finishing third. This sucks.
What was it that Dale Earnhardt always used to say? Second place is just the first loser.
Exactly. I guess I'm just a second loser now.
All right. Well, still congratulations on the third place tonight, and hopefully we'll see you back here in a few weeks as we'll be taking our mid-season break and coming back after the new year.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it.
You have a good one.
Yep. Thanks, man.
And bringing home second place with a strong showing in the back half of that race, Randy Shreves, driver of the number 56. Randy, walk us through that final 3 laps.
Oh man, that was definitely a crazy one. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of just wanted to stay on the high side, and everybody else wanted to stay on the high side. Austin kind of got a little wiggly there, and I didn't want to try to like go under him or anything. I just wanted to stay up top where I knew it was fast, and I somehow managed to squeeze by him.
Yeah, I gotta say, your pass on the high side out of 2, we caught it on the cameras, and that was really, really close there. It looked like a little bump up against the wall, nothing too extreme for Eldora, but you made it work and had the run down into turn 3, so bringing home a second place 2 weeks in a row. So we looking for that win possibly next week, or here in a few weeks when we come back after the new year?
I'm hoping I'll get her done.
All right.
One of these times anyway.
Well, anytime you get a podium, that's still a strong finish. So nothing to scoff at bringing home that second place 2 weeks in a row.
For sure. Definitely a tough group of guys here. Good racing all the time. Love it.
Definitely. Well, we'll turn you back over to your team. Congratulations on the second place tonight, and hopefully we'll see you back here in a few weeks.
All right. Thanks, Darren.
That was Randy Shreves, driver of the number 56, bringing home second place tonight. And here we have Doug Lockwood, feature winner tonight. Doug, it's been a few weeks since we've seen you out here, but what a way to return, picking up the victory this evening. Seemed like there for a while you were absolutely checking out on the field, and that late caution had me kind of questioning what are we going to see in that final 5 and then final 3 laps. But once again, you proved that you have the skill to run her up front, and once you're there, it's hard to catch you. Walk me through kind of your mid-race and late-race run there.
Well, right before the main, I ran the dash, and I just didn't feel too good. So I went back to my old faithful setup, just threw a Hail Mary at it, changed the gear, and it reminded me why it's Old Faithful to me. You know, it felt really good. That's the best I've felt on the top when it's slick. And then 3 and 4, it was just the way I like Eldora. Kind of, had that little slider line, and I was able to let it drift up to the thing. And then them late cautions, man, I was in the room yelling. I did not want them yell at us at all. I'm like, the hell is going on back there?
Yeah, it looked like the track was extremely top dominant tonight. I'm surprised that the bottom really didn't come in other than that slider line you were working through 3 and 4, and you had that car absolutely rolling there mid-race. You had opened up right around a 2.5-second lead, I believe was the last I saw, before that 5-lap to go caution came out. Obviously, that upset you quite a bit if you were yelling in the room. But you still managed to, once again, get a couple decent jumps on the restarts, and you held on for the victory. So 5 weeks, 5 different winners. That's going to move you up in the points a little bit, although missing a few weeks there, I'm sure you're pretty far down in the points, but
I'm
definitely
here just to collect trophies, baby.
doing a Kyle Larson, huh?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I got busy in December and knew I wasn't going to be able to race, and kind of took some time off and just started getting really back into it. And feels good to have a nice run like that tonight. I really wanted to go to the bottom on that restart with 5 to go in 1 and 2, but it was one of those things, was kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because the top was getting really edgy in 1 and 2, especially on the exit. It was getting rough and slick, and I wanted to stay away from it, but it's what got me there, so let's just let her rip up there.
Either way, you pulled it off, and I'm sure you got a few sponsors you'd like to thank this evening.
Yeah, I got to thank Detweiler Designs for the bad rig that I got, that gets me around the track looking good. My Most Wanted teammates, Most Wanted Racing Association for the broadcast, SRT carts, and Beaver solar panel. It's just fun to be back and not do the point racing after doing it all fall, and just let her go out there and just go for wins, man. That's what it's about, and hopefully we can break. I know you won't want to hear this, but hopefully we can break the streak and be the first repeat winner when we come back from the break.
All right. Well, we'll see you here in a few weeks when we come back. I'll have to double check the schedule, as I've completely forgotten what was next on the schedule. I think it might be Fairbury, actually. So.
Oh, nope. Then definitely not me.
All right. Well, congratulations on the victory tonight, and I'll let you get back to celebrating with your team.
Thanks, man.
That was Doug Lockwood picking up the victory this evening. And real quick, while I still got these guys here, I completely forgot to give them a chance to thank their sponsors. Austin, you want to kick off, thank your sponsors this evening?
Yeah, hang on. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My Discord's freaking out. Hang on, I gotta get to the tab. Hang on. I got this all professionally laid out. All right, we got Red Line Race Designs, Finish Line Repair, Pushing the Cushion, One Wish, LGR Motorsports, and everybody at LGR. We got Dante Brown, Daquan Brown, Anthony Reisner, Blaine Brink, Coulter West, and Trace Olson. So, and to you, I really appreciate the broadcast you guys put on. This is really such a fun league right now for the 305. I'm having a lot of fun.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations on your finish this evening, and we'll see you back here in a few weeks.
Stop reminding me I got third.
And Randy, once again, sorry, I completely forgot to give you a chance to thank your sponsors. Go ahead and give those guys a shout out.
That's all good, Darren. Definitely I want to thank Sofa King Fast, Sim Sports, Red Line Race Designs, Jessup Logistics, Speed World Hobbies, Goyette Trucking. I want to thank Most Wanted Racing Association, you guys for putting on the broadcast. You guys do an awesome job. I think that's about it.
All right. Well, congratulations once again on the second place, and we'll see you here in a few weeks.
All right. Thanks, Darren.
All right, and with that, that's going to bring things to a conclusion here this evening. 5 weeks, 5 new winners, and Doug Lockwood being the new winner this week. Randy Shreves picking up another second place. Austin Stern picking up another third place. So, starting to see some very strong competition throughout the field with this many different winners in 5 weeks of competition. And we'll see you all here back after the new year, first Tuesday after the new year. And hopefully you all will join us back here as the action will resume here with the Most Wanted Racing Association. And for those of you that are following us here on Methanol Mafia, we'll have a few events coming up through December. One of those being the DOB 4 Crown that'll be broadcast here on this channel, as well as Outcast Independent League Limited Late Models coming up on Thursday night. So hopefully we'll see you back for all these events coming up. And you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and have a Happy New Year as well. We'll see you in the future.